Hundreds of evacuees from the Gulf Coast and New Orleans came here to Meridian, Mississippi to evade Katrina, only to find she followed them here.
Category 5 hurricane coming at my house.
I've never seen one like Katrina.
18-foot storm surges, water, the wind, tornadoes.
We're running from New Orleans, yes.
They ran to Meridian, Mississippi. They took every available hotel room and filled Red Cross shelters. And these folks are hoping everyone followed.
What I'm hoping is that everybody got up and we don't have to do it in body bags. Yeah. That's what concerns me, that I hope everybody got out. Things you can replace, people you can't.
They brought as much as they could.
Got Patch, got wife and my 2 daughters and my mother, and got an iguana and a guinea pig in the car.
She wouldn't leave without them.
They fill up on hot coffee waiting for any news.
Winds could occasionally gust to hurricane force.
I don't know. I have no idea. I gotta wait and see what the pictures look like.
I did. I slept real good on the floor. At least it was cool.
Yeah, so we're good. I just want to get home.
When they return, teams like Indiana's Task Force 1 will already be there.
We'll go into the high impact areas. We got the 34 of the elite Marion County search and rescuers from all the Marion County fire departments and the Indianapolis Fire Department with us, canine dogs. And we'll go in, look for victims. Hopefully we're able to make rescues.
But before they can go, Katrina comes to us. Officials here are still estimating the damage done to Meridian, Mississippi from Katrina. As far as Task Force 1, they'll be leaving at daybreak tomorrow, headed to Gulfport, Biloxi, or New Orleans. We'll be with them for rescues or recoveries. I'm Steve Bray, 24-Hour News 8. Folks from the Gulf Coast came here to Meridian, Mississippi to evade what was Hurricane Katrina. The only problem was Katrina followed them into central Mississippi. And here we had wind gusts of up over 100 miles per hour during the late afternoon and into the evening hours. You can see some of the damage that was done. Tree limbs down throughout the area, power out, shingles ripped off. For the most part, it seems somewhat superficial compared especially what's going on along the Gulf Coast. Now, along the Gulf Coast, we're going to go down there. Task Force 1 from Indiana is here. Rescue and recovery may be what we're looking at during the day on Tuesday. We'll be alongside them as they head to the Gulf Coast and give you live reports throughout the day. I'm Steve Bray, 24-Hour News 8. Indiana's Task Force 1 rolled out from Meridian, Mississippi this morning, destination the Gulf Coast. Under post-storm sunshine, Katrina's impact was clear well inland. Pine trees snapped like twigs, interstates down to one winding lane, and the force of the wind obvious. For those returning home, it was a slow drive, worrying what they'll find.
No idea what lies ahead of us at home with friends and family.
As we rolled into Gulfport, nothing we had seen yet compared to the punch this coastal community experienced. And residents returning for the first time, there was shock.
When we came here, it's like my heart died. There's hardly anything left on the coastline. There's a lot of people that's missing, and all 3 ports were there, and that's where all the trucks came from. And now the Copa that used to sit back by the docks is now sitting on the beach.
I went through Camille, and now we call Katrina her sister, but I believe this one's a little bit more devastating than Camille was. I really do.
The storm surge from Katrina, the wall of water that came on shore as the hurricane made landfall, was estimated by some to be 10 to 15 feet. By others, more like 25 feet, ripping homes off of their foundation. Indiana's Task Force 1 is establishing base camp in Biloxi. Generators, lights, crates of supplies that will be put in use tomorrow when they begin to search for the missing. At this point, no one knows exactly how many they're looking for. This is Gulfport, Mississippi after Katrina, a devastating storm, and what's left behind, obvious, the devastation widespread throughout this area. Very few homes, businesses have been untouched by this storm. You can see the debris that has been pushed inland. It's just all over the town. The high rises with windows knocked out all the way to the top floor, obviously from the strong winds that came from shore. But a lot of this debris pushed in by the storm surge, that wall of water that came in as the hurricane made landfall, and strange objects, strange pieces of debris rolled in, like this piano, probably from the casino that was offshore that has now been pushed onshore. Back out to the docks. This is a vibrant port in this area. Vibrant no more. You can see just shreds of debris that have been scattered across the huge parking lot where semis were once parked to pick up stuff from the port. Those have been spread inland. Trailers toppled on top of each other. An amazing display, and we're going to continue to bring you more of that, more of the news from Gulfport over the next couple of days. Tonight, we're going to try to catch up with Indiana's Task Force 1. They've been brought down to help in the recovery process. Until then, I'm Steve Bray, 24-Hour News 8. All the headlines read before she arrived that it was going to be catastrophic. Katrina lived up to that. We are in Gulfport, Mississippi, this port city, this riverboat casino city. That is the Copa Casino that was offshore, now pushed onshore from the storm surge of Katrina that some people were estimating 10 to 15 feet and maybe even more. Just on the other side of where the casino has moved onshore is the port of Gulfport. That is where Dole pineapple bananas were brought into the United States. Those trucks that support that port were thrown inland. You can see all the huge amount of debris that is inland here, rolls of paper, just about anything that was in that port now just strewn across the streets of Gulfport. And the damage is widespread here. It's not just on these streets that you're seeing before us. Almost everybody that lives in this town untouched by the devastation of Katrina. There are, as we've talked to some people, some folks still missing. There's a coliseum where folks were hiding out, seeking shelter from the storm. That was devastated, and folks are still missing from that. We're going to continue to track down that story. Also, Indiana Task Force 1 is here. They are setting up base and helping out with the recovery process. We're going to touch base with them, and we'll continue to bring you some reports here from Gulfport. Again, just an amazing amount of destruction in this area. We'll have more for you coming up. I'm Steve Bray, 24-Hour News 8. We're following Indiana's Task Force 1 as they venture towards the Gulf Coast. Search, rescue, recovery operations in place. We're in Brandon, Mississippi, just outside of Jackson. This is the staging area, and part of the reason why fuel is as good as gold down here. All of these vehicles that are headed down to the Gulf Coast need to be gassed up before they go. Power is out almost everywhere along the Gulf Coast, even a large portion of the inland areas, so these kind of gas stations are not operational. This one has been set aside for official vehicles to get fueled up before they head down to the coast. Now, we're going to follow them down there and kind of check out what has happened in areas down in southern Mississippi, maybe Gulfport and Biloxi. We'll continue to feed you some reports as we go through the day. Steve Bray, 24-Hour News 8. Here in Gulfport, we continue to monitor the devastation from Hurricane Katrina, what the costs have been. And the costs have been high in some cases. There are still many folks missing, and that's where the Indiana Task Force 1 comes into play. They will be out throughout the day today surveying the entire area, a stretch of coastline that they are in charge of, looking for the missing. The dogs are key members of this team. They will be out throughout the day trying to find those that have been unaccounted for. I'm Steve Bray, 24-Hour News 8. This morning's Indiana's elite search and rescue team began their first day at what they've been so well trained to do.
We're going to be walking, we're starting along the coast and walking the coastal area that had the most damage, and then start our way inward.
They painstakingly move door to door in search of...
Hopefully we're going to find some survivors that possibly were able to get up into their attics and when the storm surge came through, survive it. However, we're also mentally prepared to find victims. We're already hearing reports of the teams, other teams are starting to find victims.
They ask questions of neighbors.
Okay. Everybody here is okay.
Okay, and all of your addresses, please.
Yes. Okay.
Deal with loose dogs. Leaking natural gas. And traverse the hazardous ground cover that was once homes.
West 088 degrees.
and in some cases,
Get him out.
He's out. Let's go. He ain't staying.
get to those that have returned to unsafe homes and convince them to leave again.
The only place for me to go is right back in.
You cannot go back in there.
Why not?
Because the structure is unsafe and we are not letting you back in there.
At first light, after another dark night, the nightmare became reality again. Indiana's Task Force 1 was preparing for their first full day in Biloxi. They've trained hard for this sometimes dangerous job.
Measures for carbon monoxide, flammable gases, and it measures the oxygen content in the rooms to make sure that our guys are safe when they go into buildings.
Hopefully we're going to find some survivors that possibly were able to get up into their attics and when the storm surge came through, survive it. However, we're also mentally prepared to find victims.
From here, this point here, we'll clear a zone out. And then when we get back here to this point, we'll move that direction there. Then we'll clear this street. Questions? Be safe.
And that's our #1 priority. You know, there's fallen trees, there's power lines. Even though the power lines aren't energized because the power's been lost, we still treat and check every power line with hot sticks.
Talk to them, find out if they know anything, you know, if anyone in their house is missing, any areas that they suspect somebody could have been, and we'll start there. And we won't go in until structure checks it if it's a vacant house.
That's evacuated. She'll be back later on today. They're home, you guys already seen it.
They check each house and apartment. Where there's no answer,
Put a hip into it.
We also have to worry about snakes and other animals.
and even gas leaks.
We have City of Biloxi fire on it.
They mark each place they've been, gather information.
Everybody here is okay.
What's left of this hotel sits about a block off the beach here in Biloxi. Now again, most of it's reduced to rubble, but there are some rooms still left, and Task Force 1 has to go in and check each one. Their specially trained dogs scour the rubble for a whiff of human life.
Get him out.
He's out. Let's go. He ain't staying.
He evacuated before Katrina, but returned.
There's a road right there. The only place for me to go is right back in.
You cannot go back in there.
Why not?
Because the structure is unsafe, and we are not letting you back in there.
That's why this team is here.
If there's only one out there, this whole operation of all these teams, both state.
The fury of Katrina on home video.
The intensity was unlike anything I've ever seen before because it was a storm surge, but it was on land. And you were only seeing water everywhere.
The result of that fury hit the homes and businesses along the coastline the hardest.
They had them fixed up as apartments where people lived in, and there were several of them here in a row. And they're not here now. They're gone.
Gone are some of the beautiful places, the character of Gulfport and Biloxi.
This used to go down here on the second, it's the second story of the third house down behind the surf stop.
Amazingly, some of the most fragile things survived, but here, some did not survive.
At this point in time, we have multiple casualties within Harrison County. We're talking about major buildings that may have withstood Camille collapsing and just what we call pancaking. And if there's an individual in there, it's going to take time to rescue them, whether they be alive or dead.
That's where this team, Indiana's Task Force 1, comes in.
From here, this point here, we'll clear a zone out. And then when we get back here to this point, we'll move that direction there. Then we'll clear this street.
They painstakingly check each house, apartment, and hotel for survivors and victims. Their dogs scour the rubble. In the morning, they will be at it again, for the night here is pitch black, and a dusk to dawn curfew attempts to discourage the danger of the darkness, including looters. As we witness the anguish and desperation of New Orleans from here, it's hard to put this disaster in perspective. The close-up shots reveal the suffering, the aerial pictures, the enormity of the flooding. But to put it into context, we need to overlay this disaster onto something we can understand. Consider that New Orleans covers 180 square miles, 80% of which is now underwater. That's a total of 144 square miles of flooding. To compare, we started with this map of the Indianapolis metro area. Watch what happens. A flood of this magnitude would cover everything inside I-465 all the way north to 56th Street. 144 square miles of misery. Rick Dawson, 24-hour News 8. Another day, another search begins.
It's door to door, floor to floor, especially for multi-dwelling structures. You got to check everywhere, and every unit, every hotel room, every office building, every attic, everywhere. It's a very thorough search.
A floor-to-floor search in a hotel right on the coast that was assaulted by Katrina.
Search and rescue!
The team grabs a key to gain access.
You got any more?
Where that doesn't work,
Latched again.
Key's not working?
Relax. It is, but it's locked from the inside. It's locked from the inside. Try that. Try that bolt.
Yeah, just hit the bolt. There you go. Hello, search and rescue.
once every room is cleared,
We're all clear on floor number 5. We'll continue to floor 3.
it's on to the next location.
I think it's wonderful.
Yes.
I can't thank them enough because we haven't had any assistance in 2 days. I know the resources are spread thin, but we're glad to see them. I got a tear in my eye when I seen all them trucks pull up in the blue lights, and I'm like, they're here. You know, they're gonna finally assess this place properly, professionally, and take care of us.
Oh yeah. Over there. A lot of hard work, but very worthwhile. It's overwhelming to see what these people have gone through. You know, we're used to tornadoes where it's a block or two, but this is miles and miles and miles of devastation. So.
And this team, along with others from around the country, are scouring it all, door to door and in hotels, room by room, one step at a time.
It's been at least a mile area here that we've searched, at least a mile square, and if not 2 in this and lengthwise. So put a lot of footwork down the past couple days.
Hard work under harsh conditions.
So far, so well. I mean, we're doing pretty good. It's just it's hot and humid.
This is very different than what we're used to as far as our climate is concerned, and so we've got doctors and other medical specialists that are on our team.
We're hanging in there pretty good, all things considering, a lot better than the people that are down here.
I've got more people.
A good night's rest and a good meal that I think the world could use down here, but we're hanging in pretty good. We're obviously monitoring them very close.
But the weather isn't the only thing that could wear on this squad. While they haven't uncovered anyone killed by the storm yet, they may have to face that horrible task.
I don't think there's any way you can actually mentally prepare for something like that. It's still a shock when you still run across something like that. One of the things we do, we keep an eye on each other, and we have systems in place whenever people have issues with dealing with something like that. It's not natural to deal with something like that, and so we help each other as far as that's concerned. To prepare for it, I don't think there's a way to prepare for it.
You got the dog in?
I'm over here.
Indiana's Task Force 1 was scouring the coastline today looking for survivors and victims.
They had entrance, I think they got from the back.
They worked through a hotel where some guests and a security guard rode out the storm.
It's lost to live. I'll never experience anything like this again.
But the nightmare wasn't over. The wind and water from Katrina opened these doors and walls, and then the looters walked right in.
And I went to get the tag number, and they took like a 9 Uzi
and popped about 12 rounds on me.
We have had some looting and we have had some arrests. The jails, however, aren't burgeoning at the seams. We had a substantial presence of the National Guard here even as the storm was happening.
And Pollard adds that the force has been bolstered by police from all over the state.
Trying to get that stench off from that river.
The impact of Katrina has also had huge repercussions on animals.
Now the whole park's gone. Our whole park's gone.
Marine life residents were swept away.
Almost all of them were in like people's yards in huge piles of debris.
Several are staying cool inside an ice plant. 3 sea lions died.
But we still got 7 more out there. And 8 dolphins. 8 dolphins.
The storm was scary for everyone.
When the ceiling started falling in and hoping that I wasn't going to lose my kids, it really goes through you when you finally realize we might not live. It really is frightening to know that I may not be able to save my children. That's the good, where we all live through this.
I'll say hi to Amy and Michael and Elena. I love you, I miss you, I'll be home soon.
Saturday evening, they got the news, and they couldn't wait to tell loved ones that their job here is done.
It'll be great to go home, but there's so much work here still.
Feel kind of almost guilty to be leaving a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
There's still a lot of work needs to be done here. We wish we could stay and help finish it, but our people are pretty tired.
There's plenty of people here, and there's plenty of people ready to come, and other USAR teams and other fire departments, and so we're not leaving a work undone. There's other people that are going to continue on.
So on this night, they could blow off a little of the steam that's been building all week.
I just didn't want to stop the interviews.
And give even more of themselves. Along with the other teams in the camp, they pass the hat and collect more than $2,000 for the members of the Biloxi Fire Department that suffered losses.
Everybody smile. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Biloxi, Tampa, Miami, or Indianapolis, it doesn't matter where you're from. This is a brotherhood. As they pack up, they can't help but dwell on the people they leave behind.
I think we all learned a lot from the people of houses that we were searching. I mean, these people have, they have nothing. Their children have no food, no water, no toys, no bed, no schools, and they say we're blessed because we're alive.
It's never easy. I talked to a gentleman today that tried to ride out the storm in his house with his sister, and he survived and she did not, and that just broke my heart.
Task Force!
Under the orange glow of an early Sunday morning, the team from Central Florida lowers and presents Indiana Task Force 1 with a very special flag.
On Friday of this week, when the teams were out searching in the downtown Biloxi area and the surrounding neighborhoods, this flag was located.
It was torn off of something, it was washed around in the tidal surge, it was blown around in the wind, it was stuck in mud, but flag's a piece of America, and to leave it there in the mud and the dirt and whatever else was in that little puddle was just completely wrong. Our little way of picking something up, cleaning it up, and putting pieces back together again.
All out!
As they begin the long ride home, they reflect on the impact of this experience.
You can't train for this. You know, when we're out here working and working a disaster like this, I mean, our training kicks in, we do what we're trained to do, but nothing can prepare us for what we're seeing.
What they'll see tomorrow, their families when they arrive back in Indianapolis, and Wish TV will be there. From Biloxi, Mississippi, I'm Steve Bray, 24-Hour News 8. The clock stopped Monday morning when Katrina blasted the Gulf Coast.
This is division.
Yeah.
Division.
Yes.
Now, every minute of daylight is precious to Indiana's Task Force 1. For the third straight day, they pound the pavement.
There's an upstairs for that.
We got to mark these houses that they've been searched. That way somebody doesn't duplicate the search.
To find those victims, team members with 4 legs pound the pavement as well.
Right now, we don't have any equipment that can do what a dog's nose can do. His name's Logos. It's Greek for living word. When a disaster dog finds someone, his alert is to bark until someone gets there. It's a steady bark, which is kind of his word, which means that there's life under the rubble.
4-year-old Logos and the rest of his tail-wagging teammates take risks that the upright members of the squad can't.
A lot of these houses, they mark unsafe. The dog's the only one that can go in.
But the dogs aren't immune to injury.
He sliced it on some debris. And a lot of people want to put boots on the dogs, but the trouble is when they go through the debris and they've got the boots on, it's kind of like you're sticking your hand with a glove in. When they try to pull it back out, it catches their foot. So you kind of have to weigh the hazards.
Here, the hazards are everywhere.
We believe we do. His name would be Carlos Garcia. He was the manager of this 2-story apartment complex that has been flattened, reduced to rubble. He was a great man. He was a friend of ours.
While this victim was found by a task force from Virginia late yesterday, Task Force 1 from Indiana discovered one as well.
It's never easy. It really is never easy. Unfortunately, you know, you're hoping you're going to get more live rescues. You know, we're all about making the big rescues, and it's just a very, very unfortunate thing. At least you know that you're glad that you can be able to, you know, to help out if you do find victims, give families, you know, some sense of peace.
This took about 3 days. This area had a significant damage. We found some victims in that location.
Orchestrating this operation is a challenge.
Priority 1, priority 2.
It's just not in firefighters' nature to leave anybody behind.
To keep that promise, they lean on technology.
Everybody okay?
We're just checking to make sure you guys are okay and everybody's here.
Oh yeah, we're here. We're fine.
Every person reported missing gets on this list.
Grandchild stranded in a boat. This woman called in and gave the address. There's very few street signs left. But what we had to do was take this address, plug it in to get the longitude and latitude of the global positioning of those addresses, and then we marked them on the map. And today we're going back in after we search these areas and double check these flags to make sure that none of these calls have been left unattended.
128, I'm assuming.
Correct.
All right. Thank you guys. Take care.
Be careful.
And because of their caring, folks that see teams like Indiana's Task Force 1.
We walk down to the street sometimes and watch the teams of people who come in and sit there and applaud or give them thumbs up, touch your heart. It's incredible, and it does give us hope.